Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Table Talk on 802 Scoop, live from the Inside Scoop studio on North Main Street in Barre. It's a beautiful sunny day for a change.
It's a beautiful day. I took a ride out to Danville today to my camp.
It's this morning when I first woke up and it was like we were really socked in, I thought, ugh, it's going to be another crappy day, but then it really turned out to be
It was
nice.
nice.
Yeah, it's almost perfect. And they're saying next week's going to be 50s, maybe 60s.
Yeah.
I can deal with it.
It's
Finally,
coming.
spring maybe.
Spring's coming.
Yeah, not before a little shitty weather tonight,
Yeah,
though.
well,
a little bit of snow. Is it still considered sugar snow at this point?
I think it's gone beyond sugar snow to poor man's fertilizer.
Yeah, are they, I don't even know, are they still boiling? I don't know how all that works, how long the season is or anything for
I
that.
saw some the other day coming back from the Lamoille area there during the basketball tournament. There were still people boiling.
They were.
Yeah.
I heard that it hasn't been the greatest of seasons. We just didn't have the temperatures at night, and then
Right.
during the day for it, I heard that it hasn't been that great, which is kind of sucky. But hopefully, maybe they'll get an extension to it or
I
something.
think that's what they're trying to squeeze out every bit they can, you know.
Every little bit. But I noticed today, and I hadn't known anything about this. I will. That they have scheduled some city downtown master plan meetings. They want the public's input of what they would like to see downtown.
It's the first I've heard of it.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that the city people get to put in their 2 cents, their word, and I'd like to know what people are looking for here. I know, as I told you, I think that I would love to see a grocery store. I think that that's probably top on my list out of anything really. I don't really know what I would ask for.
Maybe another clothing store too. I mean, remember back when we used to have Harvard's clothes and Rogers?
Yeah, Rogers, Milady's, Homer
Yeah.
Fitz.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot. And now we don't really have any choices at all except for a couple of chain stores. Kohl's is all we have here local, and Walmart.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't really know of, we have a lot of secondhand stores, which are nice, but there's not a lot here if you have to go shopping for those sorts of things. You got to hightail it to Burlington or New Hampshire.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I don't go to Burlington anymore.
I don't like shopping up there. I'm not a big shopper anyway.
Well, me either, truthfully. If I can get it online, I'm much more happy. And even holidays, I was so grateful when my kids were old enough to just get money and be happy, because I don't like shopping for anything myself. I'm lucky. My sister loves to shop. She's like a kind of a shopaholic, and she gives me everything like of hers every 6 months or so, because she recycles her closet, like turns it around and buys more stuff. And she says if you buy something, you have to get rid of a hanger, which means she's got to give me something. So I don't know the last time I've had to go shopping, but I'm okay with that. It's just a waste of time, right?
Yeah, it's, you know, I go when I have to go. That's,
Right, when you have to go.
Yeah, I'm not one of those that, oh, May, it's Saturday, I'm going to go shopping. You know?
Yeah, no, me either. Not for anything. And Price Choppers, they ruined my world when they did their renovation down there, because I have no idea where anything is in Price Chopper anymore.
I've
I
got
don't like it.
I've got Shaw's memorized.
Yeah, you do. You really do. You memorize them.
Yeah,
I could
really.
do my list by the aisles.
That's, you know what? That's what I do.
Yeah.
I make my list and I come in and I know I'm going to go like to the veggie aisle first, and then from there I write down everything, where it is, where I'm
Right,
going.
where you're
Yeah.
going next, and
Yeah.
then you're in and out of there, and you don't have to mess around. And yeah, that's how. But now, no, I
See,
can't do that.
I'd be great on one of those. They used to have that game show where the people were shopping and they had
Yes.
so much time to go find it. Man,
Yes.
I'd kick butt in that.
Maybe we should invent one of those games again. Maybe we could actually make money at something, Jeff, if we did that. But these city master plans, they're going to start on the 14th. It looks like at 6 p.m. at the Labor Hall is where it's going to be kind of the kickoff of it all. And then the 15th and 16th, they're going to be at City Hall all day from 9 to 7, with the 15th being a 2 p.m. topical meeting, and then on the 16th, a 10 a.m. topical meeting. That's at City Hall. And then the closing presentation will be on the 17th. So
You have to pre-register or anything for that?
it does not say that. It just says that they want the community's input on that. So yeah.
You'd think they'd,
Maybe they aren't expecting that there'll be a lot of people, or maybe because it's all day, they feel like people will filter in and out.
maybe, yeah, because like you said, that one that runs all day, that I would think you'd have to have some kind of pre-registration for it.
Yeah, I didn't see where it said that, but you never know. Like I said, I didn't know that it was even going to happen. So
I didn't know until you told me.
when I saw it today, I was like, oh. I mean, I know that there was a talk about it at some point. They talked about maybe having different meetings, but I thought they were going to do them in try to be in the different wards, try to find locations in the wards that were a little closer for everybody and stuff. But I guess not. That's where we're at with that. Yeah.
And that's Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah. Let me see,
15th?
the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I'm going to be very interested to see what people want and what the thoughts are, because we know they're different for everybody. I've seen a lot of people when we talk about it, even when we've heard it talked about city council or other things, places for kids to play, more playgrounds, more parks, maybe an indoor place for kids, like, what is that place in Burlington, Get Air or something. And but still, I'm not sure that place would be the same down here.
Probably not.
I'm not sure it has the market to survive here.
Right.
Because then you get into the, we need affordable things to do. Well, anything where you have to have the lights on, the heat on, or air conditioning on, and then you have to staff it, anything that you have to staff is not affordable.
Right.
Especially here where all the different taxes that you pay, and it's not affordable unless you can somehow run something that is all volunteer done, and I can't see where that would happen.
No.
Not something to that scale anyway.
I mean, we were in Cambridge the other day for the AAU tournament thing, and we went up to Smuggler's Notch and had lunch and stuff. Whenever took the kids over to, they had like an arcade there. And even that, I mean, you got to buy a card so you can swipe to play so many games, but it was busy.
Right, it's busy, but it's
But
expensive.
it's expensive.
Yeah, so to find things, that's why I was talking the other day, we were talking about there are affordable things here in the city to do. You just have to look for them.
Yeah.
And they're affordable because they're free most often.
Yeah.
And you just have to be able to look for them and either walk or drive and be there for them. But I'm not sure that some of those things are considered affordable.
No. It's like these summer camps, It's, we used to do them at the auditorium. Stephanie would run them through the recreation department, but they were what I call box camps or canned camps, where these people came in, we paid them to do it, and then we got some money back from it, but they only allow like 10 kids in a camp, and they did 4 camps, out of thousands of kids in the city and town, only,
Right,
40 kids
50
got to go to it. It's, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not cheap. I think they're like $200 a kid.
Yeah, it is. And that's a lot for, especially if you have a few kids and
Yeah.
you want everybody to be able to go, to be fair. And I am seeing more and more of the summer camps popping up. They're starting to advertise them now. There's some for April break even, which I was surprised. They have a soccer camp, a couple of sports camps over April break, which
Yeah.
is coming right around the corner, right after Easter. And so those are expensive too. And I'm assuming that they'll do some open gyms and stuff during that time.
Yeah.
They usually do. The
Yeah.
city's been very good about that.
Yeah, they'll do open gym probably at the odd. I know they're doing open turf time, and there's 3 different days they're doing it, and I think each day it's something like, one day it's soccer, one day it's lacrosse, one day it's football. So they're giving them like one whole block of time to do their certain sports. And I think it's open. It's open. I know in the morning it's open at 8:30 for people that just want to walk indoors.
Which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends that would normally walk the cemetery, Hope
Yep.
Cemetery, but that in the winter time, sometimes it can be slippery, it's cold, it's wet, rainy, whatever. And so they were very happy to know that maybe there was going to be an alternative when it was raining and stuff for them to be able to walk. Of course, they can't in the winter time because
Right.
of hockey season, but they were happy to just know that, okay, in the summer months, at least if it's pouring rain, we'll still
Yeah.
be able to go out and walk.
It's a lot easier on you too, on your knees and stuff, walking on that cushioned turf instead of
Instead of
blacktop.
beating the blacktop
Yeah.
to death up there in the cemetery. I actually saw quite a few people at Elmwood yesterday. Quick question about the cemetery, because I am still, and I know that I've been told not to say this to you, but I know you know. Are you or are you not supposed to bring your dog to the cemetery?
Dogs are not allowed.
It's very controversial, I know.
It is. It's very controversial. Michael and I we used to go at it about it.
Oh, is that why?
Yes.
Okay.
Is he the one that told you not to ask me?
No, I couldn't remember. Well, probably, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, there's supposed to be no dogs in the cemetery. We know Elmwood's famous for it. But people do pick up after the dog. If they pick up after the dogs, I would never have a problem with it. But those that don't ruin it for everybody else.
Right.
And Hope is, it's more of a tourist attraction place.
Yep.
We get bus tours all summer, but you get people that come from out of state, park their car and walk. They find their family, and then they just kind of walk around and look at everything. And you don't want to have a dog coming up. I'm a dog guy. I like dogs, but
Yep.
some people are afraid of dogs. Some people, like I said, don't pick up after their dogs.
And you can like dogs and still not like a strange dog,
Right.
the one that you've never met. You don't know
Right.
if it's friendly or not, or what's going to happen, and then you don't want the dog stuff
Yeah.
on the stones or near the stones, and yeah, it's understandable. But I have started to see more and more people walking their dogs
Oh, yeah.
in the cemetery now, and I didn't know if that was allowed. I didn't know how that actually ever sugared off.
It's,
Is there signs?
there is at Hope, and I'm not sure if there is. I thought there was at Elmwood. If there's a sign there, I think it would be on the Hill Street entrance, not the Washington Street entrance.
Yep. Paul Grenier says, I think the fountain at the cemetery should be updated, which you spoke of the other night.
Yeah,
or
so
the other day.
the old fountain, we're going to repurpose that. There's another cemetery committee meeting coming up, I think next week. With the cozy money that was left, part of his request was that we put in a new fountain and his name will be on it. And right now, preliminary meetings we had, the new fountain would be, well, right now, we're hoping it will be where the flagpole is now, when you come in the main entrance at
Yep,
Hope.
yep,
We would move the flagpole in the Veterans Monument back, center the fountain right there. That's the best place for it because easy access to power from the main entrance and easy access to water because it comes right by there. So we're looking at it'll probably be couple of years, 2 or 3 years before we get this completed, but a new fountain will go in. Then the old fountain, we're talking about maybe filling it in and making it a giant planter. And it'll be all flowers. So that's
which would be pretty.
what
And,
they're looking at.
Paul Grenier says that he thinks that maybe all the sheds could possibly sponsor, and that's a great idea. I mean,
That's been discussed.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully they'll do such a thing.
We've had that discussion, maybe they'll donate granite, maybe they'll donate carving, whatever. The BGA has a representative on the cemetery committee, so we'll go through that person.
And see how that goes. Yeah, I think that would be really pretty, though. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Paul says the same thing, that would be really nice. And then skipping back just a little bit, Hillary Scott wants a roller skating rink.
Okay.
I'm too old to roller skate.
I'm not a roller skater.
But you never know. I've heard that floated around before.
Yeah.
But Paul says thanks for the updates. I think it would be beautiful. And we got into that conversation because we were talking about Rock of Ages closing down their tours and what the cemetery was going to look like. And so that would certainly make the entrance of the cemetery look much more beautiful.
And in those preliminary discussions we had, they invited me to the meeting because I was involved with the Cozy project from, before I got done. We're also looking at, because of the whole bus thing and Polycorp's decision not to have tours, we're looking at, could we build a visitor's center up at Hope? So we're kind of kicking that down the road too.
Well, it sounds like a great idea, and maybe you'll expand the committee or maybe you'll want the public's input at some point when it comes.
Oh,
to that.
we, from what I understand, they're not going to be the sole decision makers. They'll reach out to city council, to the voters. But it's a separate block of money, and it's just for that. So I don't want people to think we're stealing money from, paving or,
right.
or building
this has
maintenance.
Nothing to do with any of
No,
that. This is
the
for
money
that.
was given by Eugene Cozy and strict directions on what the money is to be used for.
Which is awesome. I think that's amazing, and hopefully those sorts of things can get done. And I know it came up again, even most recent. I believe it was just in Facebook post when summertime starts coming and you do the no mow May and you start talking about the bees and this and that and the other thing. People get really testy about the cemetery in Montpelier that they don't mow, the big cemetery. And for some reason, someone said that they weren't going to mow at Hope anymore.
Not true.
Oh my gosh, I had to take the post down, one, because I knew it wasn't true. So there's no need of getting people so upset to say such a thing. But the amount of people that came out and were so angry at the thought of Hope Cemetery not being mowed. And I think that if that was ever determined, even when it came to money, that there are enough people in the public that it would always be mowed.
Yes.
That people would be up there mowing, their family section themselves. I know my dad would. He'd be up there loading, he'd be loading his lawnmower and mowing that whole, section right through there, or rows or something, because he could just never let that happen.
No.
I don't see it happening.
No. They're hiring. They were gonna cut the summer help budget for the cemetery. And try to do it in-house. And they have since gone back to, I think they only cut one summer position. So they will be mowing, they will be trimming. It will be business as usual.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a scary thing to say that it's going to be cut because it is. It's a super important and place for many reasons, but the amount of people that were very upset at just that thought of it. I mean, that one post probably drew 200 comments in a matter of 30 minutes, easy. And so I did take it down because I knew it was false, but it's, yeah, testy subject right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went through that last year too, at, budget discussions of not hiring summer help and just trying to get it, mow it once every couple of weeks or whatever with the staff on hand. And we got phone calls, we got emails, and
Yeah, and I'm sure they weren't nice ones.
no, they weren't nice. And,
No.
and I understand it,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's where your loved ones are buried. Who want, and I've seen Montpeliers, and it's what brought that on was COVID.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, they couldn't get they do their mowing with the work crew from the St. Johnsbury prison.
Oh, yep.
And when COVID hit, they weren't going out. They weren't doing anything, so it stopped. And since then, they've just, I don't think the prison has the work crews that they used to have. So they're limited with their staffing down there.
Nice. And that's my machine that keeps going off. If you keep hearing that beeping noise, it's yelling at me, telling me that my sugar's like getting a little bit low, but it's not horrible yet, so we won't worry about it. If it starts screaming too loud, then I'll have you throw me a candy bar
Okay.
or something. But that's what that beep.
I've been watching those.
Yeah, that's what you've been watching those. I bought new ones.
I see that.
All the Easter candies out, and
Yeah.
so I had to fill the dish back up, and I guess today was the perfect day to do that. But so, and then a question that we've been getting was about the trash, the
Oh,
open.
yes.
What are we calling it? What is
what
it called again? It's the, I just posted it.
Bulky trash
Bulk
drop.
trash drop. Yeah. So, and that is happening.
Yes.
A lot of people have been asking about that. That's happening Saturday, May 10th from 9 to 3. And you just have to have proof of residency
Yes.
in the city. for
Driver's
that.
license, tax bill.
Yeah. Voter registration. Yeah. So no yard waste and no hazardous materials, but couches, old mattresses, broken furniture, it says, household appliances, bicycles, yard toys, pretty much anything. And that'll happen at the parking lot at the auditorium.
No tires, and they're not doing a tire drop. We didn't do it last year, I guess, or did they? But because they have the tire thing down at the Granite Museum
Yep.
that the governor runs.
Wheels for warmth. Yep.
Yeah, so there will be no tire drop. So don't bring your tires to the bulky waste drop.
Because that will not happen. They will not
You'll-
take those.
You'll just be taking them home with you and unloading them.
Now, is that all run by volunteers as well? Do people, or does the city like have people up there for the day?
It'll be
helping?
city staffed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
city staffed for that day.
Usually some facilities guys and public works guys.
And then they have a notification also that they are doing some, further work. The work on the lining. I guess is that the sewer pipe lining?
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
I was actually really interested to hear what that all was. I didn't understand what the big pipes down the road were either. Sitting on top of the road and no digging, but something was happening.
So those are bypass pipes.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So the wastewater, rather than going, underground, it gets to where they're going to be blowing in the system. It's kind of a neat thing. It's almost like a fabric, but it's plastic, and they blow it through the line, and then they blow in this chemical or whatever that hardens it, so it reseals any breaks in the sewer line. So it has to be empty. So what they do is the wastewater comes out and then it goes up above ground, runs the length down to where they've ended the other section and then drops back into the system itself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that is going to happen, continue to happen through Monday, the 14th, and normal traffic and normal patterns are supposed to resume on Tuesday, the 15th. So that is continuing, and that just that announcement came out not too long before we went live today. And Judy, that is the 10th on. Oh, let me go back there just to make sure. Yeah, May 10th from 9 to 3 is the bulky waste drop off up at the Odd. So, and we did post that on the page so that people know when that is. That's usually a pretty big event, and I know that up on, what is it? What is the road up in Barrytown where you
Holden?
bring your Holden Road? Yeah, with the lawn stuff.
Yeah.
And they said that that will be open to us again this year.
Yes.
Which is a huge help.
Yeah, because they were going to cut that too, I guess.
Yeah, and I know that my dad, he brings quite a bit of stuff up there every year for that yard waste stuff, and so he was very happy to hear that that would continue to be open.
Yep.
I know I wasn't as nervous as him about it, but I was nervous because I do have some big ass tree that I want him to get rid of, and I keep saying to him, "Can we please get rid of it?" And he's like, "There's no place. What are we gonna do with it?" Well, put it in the trailer, and we'll go up there and heave out the branches, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, there's a
there you
limit on
go.
the
There's done.
diameter that you can
Yeah,
bring.
this one, that's the problem, is this small, lanky, yucky tree. It's like, it's nothingness, but it bends way over, it gets in the way when
Yeah.
you're trying to mow. It gets these weird looking leaves. I think it's just I don't know what they call it. It's a crap tree. That's what I call it. I don't know what it is, but it's literally growing right in the middle of, we have a line of like, of elm trees. And it literally is just this one oddball tree sticking out of there that maybe it's just even a big old weed with a huge stalk on it. I don't know, but it does look like a tree. And I keep asking him to get rid of it. It's got like 3 branches on it. A neighbor actually told me that they thought it was an avocado tree that somebody tried to grow in their house. They had it in the house for a long time, and then they planted it outdoors.
Oh, yeah?
And maybe that's true. I mean, it obviously never gets avocados on it here, but maybe that's true. I don't know. But it's whatever it is, it's really ugly. And so, yeah, I'm glad to hear that that's going to be open as well. Tons of Easter stuff happening. If you look at the events calendar, and I'll post it later, there are egg hunts and services and breakfasts and all kinds of different family events going on, literally from Barry to Burlington and even to Rutland. From Barry to Rutland, there's so many different things going on. And then this Saturday is the official kickoff for the Cars and Coffee, the custom cars.
Oh, yeah.
Do you go to those things?
I haven't been to one.
They're
Yeah.
fun.
Are they?
They're a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
you see some really neat cars.
Yeah?
Yeah. The Cars and Coffee one, I mean, I'm not always as excited about those because I get up super early, but that doesn't mean I can get going that early. Like, I need to have at least 3 cups of coffee and be by myself for a little bit before I can tolerate many people. But, that's not very nice, but it's true. And so I have gone down. They're enjoyable. They're 9 to noon at Aspen Dental, right
yeah.
down in
Yep.
front of Price Chopper.
Yep.
And so the first one, the kickoff for that will be this Sunday, 9 a.m. So, I'm looking forward to those.
It must be
starting
the
up
guy
again.
that always advertises it on WDEV on the radio.
Oh, yeah. Who is that?
I don't know his name, but I hear him on there when he's Cars and coffee.
Yep, Central Vermont Cars and Coffee. And then they have the Central Vermont Custom Classics as
Yep.
well. And those guys, that's kind of a neat crew where they will tell you where they're going to be. They travel all over. So they meet, and they might meet and go for this ride, a certain ride, kind of like a motorcycle ride. They take their cars and they all go and they pick a restaurant that they're going to be at, and then that's where they're all just end up in these parking lots, and they have their dinner, and then they show their cars,
Yeah.
and then drive back, and those are starting soon too. And they hold a couple of those at the Den in Williamstown. They're a lot of fun, especially the ones at nighttime.
So see, spring is in the air.
Yeah, it is, especially if they're bringing out their cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. That we must be getting there because they're pretty protective of their cars, and maybe some people won't bring them out still.
Yeah.
I know people that absolutely will not ride their bikes yet, but I've certainly seen bikes out.
I've seen bikes out.
Yeah. Crazy. You have to
Yeah.
wear your snowsuit to drive right now, as far as I'm concerned, but they're certainly out there. So let's see, what else do we have going on around here? I know that, well, I told everybody the other day, and I can tell you again, that I'm super excited to be the official promoter of the Vermont Ravens, the semi-pro basketball team for Vermont. Those games will also start soon. We'll have the schedule soon. We'll be sharing that. And then we, along with our sponsors and our team, will promote all things.
Good.
Yeah. Well, that's,
So the Ravens, that's a football team. Isn't
yeah,
it?
pro
Right.
football team. Yeah.
So geez, now I get the Ravens and we get the Coyote basketball team. Wow.
Yep. And so we'll have all kinds of things to root for. Maybe we'll go to a game some night. You never know what will happen around here. But looking forward to promoting them and having them here in the studio.
Yeah.
We'll talk to the coaches and some of the players, and we'll do some weekly highlights for them. Make sure that you always have the schedule, and they're going to team up with some of our sponsors actually. And so if you, if you bring a ticket stub into a certain business, you might get a certain perk and things like that. So it's, I'm looking forward to having that connection and that relationship with them over the summer months, the
Great.
football season months. Well, I guess it goes beyond summer, right?
Oh yeah.
October,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
even in
October,
Vermont,
November. Yeah.
even in Vermont.
Yeah, like the high school football championships are. They used to be the first Saturday of deer season, but I think they've backed it up now, so it's the last Saturday in October.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. And then we know race season is kicking off. It's only a few weeks away. I mean, May 4th is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Do you go to the road?
I haven't been to the road in years. Yeah.
Did you ever have a favorite driver up there?
Chester T. Wood.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, you probably don't.
I don't know who that is.
He had a garage down in the North End, over by it was on the corner of River and Center Street by Nativi's Granite Shed. In fact, now it's been the Calcanis building for their granite business, and he worked in his car in there all the time. So all his neighborhood kids were right behind him. It's back when they had the old coupes.
Oh.
And he had a yellow coupe, and he had his letters on the side, X1, Chester T. Wood. And he had a tractor seat for his seat in his car.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. Someone told me last week that somebody did a complete rebuild of that car, and it was going to be at the sporting racing show that we had up here last year, but they had down in White River this year. But yeah, the old
Interesting.
coupes.
I
When
wonder
that's
if
when
they-
I was a kid, the old coupes were racing up there.
When I was a kid, we used to go to the races with my dad, mostly Thursday nights, of course.
Yeah.
Once in a while, we would go to a bigger race, the 4th of July race or something. And when I was younger, Robbie Crouch was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yep, that's who I remember the most. We used to get all excited and scream for Robbie Crouch. And then And then I don't remember a lot of other drivers, BDs. I remember some of
Yep.
them, but Beaver Dragon, people like that.
Beaver and Bobby.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of years. But yeah, Sunday, May 4th. And right out back, one of our sponsors, Summer Street Tavern, is doing a car show on the 25th.
Oh.
So of this month. So they'll be out back all the race cars for Thunder Road will be right out back, or not all of them, but
Yeah,
some of
that'd
them
be
will
nice.
be out there for
I liked it
little-
when they used to have them on Main Street.
yeah, you could look in them.
Yep.
And to go along with that, it's the Rotary is doing the Art Splash again this year.
Oh,
So
yep.
this is an Art Splash year. Carl's going to be coming in here and talking about that at some point. But so they do the animals and the race cars. They
Yes.
do both of those things. So pretty soon he'll be looking for people to clean the monuments because they like to keep them nice and clean. And so volunteers to pick how many monuments you're going to clean on what day, and you sign up, and there are different water spigots throughout the city where you can get the water, and
Yeah.
they pull around these wagons that have everything you need in them to keep the monuments clean. So that's starting soon too. I actually like that. Just something.
It's neat.
Mm-hmm.
It is,
Yeah, and we have some really good artists.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that the last time they did it, they had some really cool statues. So I think it gets better and better each year.
So this will be what, the third time they've done it? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the third
Because he
time.
does it every other year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I think that's something to look forward to. It's kind of cool. So yeah. And I can't think of anything else that is really going on that we should be telling anybody about, or how about you?
Well, we approved a ballot Tuesday
Oh,
night at
yes,
the council
you
meeting.
did.
And one of the big things we put back in is I think it was $136,000 we put back in for paving. So paving and sidewalks, it now has a total of, I think, $600,000 for paving and sidewalks in this next budget year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The bad news we got was the state had a schedule planned to do Route 14 south and 302 west in 2027. It's been pushed out now to 2029.
Oh, wow. And that road's a mess.
And those
Both
are-
of
they
those
both
roads
are a
are an
mess.
absolute
Yeah.
mess. And as Nicholas spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, where the city, it was so bad on the south end of town that the city did a portion of the state's road just because it was so bad. They did it at the city's expense.
And
but
that's
they
why-
can't keep, doing
We
that.
may have to again. We'll see how it, how the roads hold up. But
Yeah, it's pretty bad up there again. So Judy says the car show on Main Street in Barrie was canceled because merchants complained that it was too loud. So
I know of a couple merchants that complained because people were trying to use their restrooms and it was loud. But geez, you'd think they'd be happy to have foot traffic.
yep, people
know?
down here.
Yeah.
Or maybe they could be in the back parking lot or something for a day. But
Yeah.
this year they'll be down here at Summer Street Tavern, and I know that she'll welcome everybody. Tina will be. Tina's the new owner. She took over the bar not too long ago. I think in January, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that she'll be excited for the foot traffic and to see everybody.
Sure.
And then it'll be a little bit off Main Street, and so hopefully it'll still bring foot traffic downtown.
Yeah.
But so at least something is still going to happen. And I think, didn't they do it last year or the year before? They may have done it up at the auditorium. I remember it being up there at one point as well.
Yeah, that was quite a while back.
Yeah, in the parking lot.
Yeah,
up
because
there.
the only car show we had was the one we had last year with that Justin St. Louis. That was his name.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, what else happened at council? Anything good?
Oh, let's see.
You're going to put on the ballot the charter changes. Will go on.
Yep, the
so
charter
that'll
change
go
will
on
be
the
on
ballot.
there, whether we want to have an elected or appointed city clerk treasurer.
I have strong opinions about that. I side with Carol on that. Carol Dawes.
You know, at first I wasn't sure, but yeah, I think put it on, let the voters decide who they want. You know, Carol's right. The clerk is, you know, between the council and the citizens.
Yeah.
It's worked for hundreds of years, so
Yeah.
why change it?
Right. And why plan for the what ifs, or
Right.
this could
Right.
happen or that could happen.
Yeah.
And yeah. So they're going to put it on the ballot though,
Yep.
and see what the voters think about it. And we'll see, I guess. I just hope that everybody really listens and educates themselves on the reasoning and what it would or wouldn't do. I hope that people really don't make a split decision on that. Sometimes, you know, there are things on the ballot that you go, just, yeah, you don't really, I think that some people don't really know exactly what they're saying until it's too late.
Yeah.
And so I hope that we can really get that message out there to people. I think Carol's going to be coming in and sitting down and talking about it with us some more
That would be good.
and really trying to give people all of the information at least. And what they decide to do with it is that's the point of it all, right? You put it on the ballot and let the people decide, but at least then they have all of the information and they can know what the ramifications could be on either side of things. And so, and I don't know, I would love to have Carol down here and then Sam Stockwell as well. They could either come together or come separately, but because I believe she's the one that put that forward,
Yes.
that change. And so explain your position and let the voters know why you want things to be that way. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And I hope, same thing about candidate interviews. I hope that everyone takes that opportunity.
I was just going to mention
no matter
that.
who you
That's-
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. It worked well when you did it for the school board, and I think, you know, you've got some new people running now for city council, and
Yeah.
let's get them in here and
Yeah,
find out who
there's
they are.
one
and what
that
they-
I've never even heard of. But I
know.
didn't even know. I had never heard that name before, and so I think it's Beth, right? Is that her?
Yeah, I think that's her first
pretty
name,
sure
yeah.
Beth.
Yeah.
But I had never. I did not know who that person is. Of course, quick Google search, and with help of some friends and you know, fellow watchers and things of the show, they were able to share some information that they had found because I hadn't done that yet, and to share what they learned and who this. And it, I mean, I live not even a quarter of a mile from her, and I had no idea who it was.
Yeah.
And she's not new to town, so
Well,
you know, yeah. So we'll see. Well, hopefully everyone will come in and introduce themselves, and we'll get to talk to everybody and see what it's all about.
Yeah. I'm sure at some point, you know, Nicholas will probably have Brian Baker into a council meeting and, you know, let people know what his paving plan is going to be. I know he's already said Prospect Street, Allen Street, Berlin Street. But now that we're adding in, you know, another $136,000,
It could be.
he's going to have to decide where we're going off of those.
To put that. Yeah. Well, maybe we should have him in here someday to talk to us about it too, and to give us a heads up. I usually back when I was doing something different, had the state of Vermont come and give a road report every year in the spring and then again in the fall. And I actually spoke with Jerry Reed not too long ago and said, you know, what's going on. And the Department of Transportation will have their calendars out pretty soon, and they will post week to week. And I always share those posts. Every Monday morning, you can see where the road construction in the entire state is going to be, so you can plan to travel and stuff. But maybe we should start doing those sorts of things around here so that people know what's on deck next. So
See, I like the way Brian did this. You get a better price when you keep everything in one area. So they're not, you know, having to pick everything up, go do another area. They can do everything. They can set up one central spot
Yeah.
because they all meet. Prospect, Berlin, and Allen Street all meet.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a better price, get it done quicker.
And boy, Prospect Street is in desperate
it is
desperate
bad,
need.
bad,
That is
bad.
so bad. And I know people have said Air Street's really bad too. And I mean, I think all streets are bad. I agree that Air Street is, it is pretty bad.
That
but
will
I-
probably be one of the
Yeah.
first ones with the extra money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. That it is the most traveled. You have kids traveling it, and the parking, and
You have Bella Vance's trucks.
yeah, yep. And the closing of West Patterson made the travel on that street
Yep.
way more.
Yeah.
It experiences a lot more traffic than it ever has.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was kind of like a one-way road because more than likely, if you went up Air Street, you went up West Patterson to get back off. You didn't
Yeah.
turn around and come back the same way. And so I'm sure that it's traveled way, way more.
Well, especially, people coming out of the school at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yep. And out of Thunder Road, the racetrack. I mean, that's going to start changing too. Where people, if you were going to that end of the city, you always hooked that right and went out so that you could go up over West Patterson and
Yep.
get on to 302. And you can't do that anymore. And I have forgotten a couple of times, and I hook the right and go, shit, what did you do that for? Because now you're stuck. You still have to go down Air Street. But I miss that
Yeah.
that street greatly, and from what I understand, it'll probably never reopen because it would be so costly
Yeah.
to open it.
Yeah.
So I know it has really screwed up traffic at the end of the day when the
Oh,
schools
boy.
let out.
Avoid that
Yeah,
as much
when
as you can.
You can, because it takes so long. And I've often said and wondered, and I know I don't want to say this because Allen Street isn't too bad, but if I'm on that end of town at that time of day, I always would take, like, my doctor's office is right there next to the entrance of the Berry City School. So there's no way I will go left. I go right, and then I go up Bridge Street in
Yep.
South Berry, and then get onto Allen.
Yeah.
And then when I come down Prospect, at least I can shoot straight across and go back uphill. And it really is still way quicker than if I had, gone left out of my doctor's office and sat there and waited to get through all of that.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm a chicken when you're coming down the big hill headed towards Cumberland Farms. Because when you come around that corner, all of a sudden there's cars stopped.
Yes, yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's not a lot of room to be getting on your brakes right there.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm sitting there in traffic, I'm always scared to death that somebody's going to plow right into the back of me, come around that corner, not knowing
Yeah.
somebody that doesn't live here. And there I'll be just sitting there dead in traffic, and they'll hit me. I do not like going that way.
I've seen it backed up there past Circle Street.
Oh, yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yep. I can't imagine having to deal with that on a daily basis in the morning, at night. I don't know. People have said that it's not as bad in the morning, but I've never
never
had to
been
come
through
that
there, no.
direction
Yeah.
in the morning. Yeah. Barb says, and I like how they are detouring traffic onto the bridge that they plan to take out. There must be right now they're detouring people over
Oh,
Berlin.
down, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For the
The
lining.
sewer line.
Yeah, the sewer lining. So yeah, they won't have that detour for long if that ever happens. But from what I understand, that bridge, that conversation now has been pushed to just that, a conversation,
Right.
that they have to have several different ideas in order to get money, to
Yep.
get the grant money. They have to have several different ideas.
Yeah, this isn't going to be, oh, there we go, we just did it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, it's going
If
to be
anything
lots of
happens at
thoughts.
all,
If if it happens.
Right.
And Rosemary wants a drawbridge.
A drawbridge.
Yeah. So that we can just put it up if it's gonna
If it's-
if it's rainy, floody, then we'll just put the drawbridge up. That's what she wants. Like one of those metal bridges like we used to have up by down there and up by
Yeah.
Gusto's.
Yeah.
If it was just one of those, then it could just be lifted up, and out of the way during, if there was a rain event.
Uh,
Don't you think that's a great idea?
Oh, yeah,
We women have all the best, we have the best ideas. We don't know how the hell we're going to pay for it, but hey, it'd be pretty cool to have a drawbridge, don't you think?
well, I don't know. I think if they first off, we'll see what happens when we get that trestle out. That will be one big good
Right,
step.
exactly. Exactly.
But I still think a lot of the problem is the Oxbow at the end of West 2nd Street, where the river comes down West 2nd, and Oxbow is a sharp turn.
Yep.
And I don't know if you've ever been down there, but you go down between Allen Lumber and
Yep.
Cumberland Farms,
Yep.
go down the end of West 2nd Street and watch where that river comes and just makes a complete U-turn.
Yeah, it does. That's down by the shed that my son was working at, that shed down there with Scott Valancourt and the Gallios.
And that's
Yeah.
where Vine Street ends there. That's why that always floods.
Yep, that's where the playground and whatever is,
Yep.
right on the other side of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where that big truck was stuck for a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
The one that came down from E.F. Wall building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember seeing that.
Amazing. It went under 3 bridges to get down there.
Yeah. I'm trying to see, just make sure that, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. We'll see. Like you said, get the trestle out first. That will probably happen first anyway.
Oh, that is happening first.
Yeah.
That's been approved, so that's going out.
So that's good. Okay, so we will go for now. Michael and I will be here tonight with you at 7 for the weekly wrap. We'll get the community calendar out to you and a few other things. He can give us an update as to what's going on in Montpelier. A lot of stuff this week
Yeah.
actually has happened, and there's been some controversial things for sure. So we'll talk about some of that, and I think there's a few things going on as far as the school's concerned that I'm going to pick his brain a little bit about. He doesn't know yet, and he's probably going to choke me, but there's a lot of stuff going around on Facebook right now, and I really think that we should probably talk about it and settle some things down a little bit, because people are super upset. So
one thing we can't forget to mention this.
Uh-oh.
Easter breakfast at Tasty Bites.
No, they're not going to do
They're
it.
not going to do it?
No,
Oh.
I know. I called her today, so
Oh.
the staff would prefer not to be working on Easter.
I can understand that.
I can understand it too, but I was really looking forward to it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
too bad.
I'm
Well,
sad.
Still doing fried dough, though?
So she's still doing fried
All
dough,
right,
and that's what
okay.
I said to her. I said, it's okay. I can deal with it because you're still doing fried. I'll see you for fried dough. That's good with me. Fried dough for sure. Maybe tomorrow. Friday's a good day to do that. We can make it a Friday thing.
Yeah?
Fridays are for fried dough.
Yeah.
We could even go, well, no, because she's already closed. Maybe we can make her stay open late one day, but we should make Fridays all about
We
fried
could do a
dough.
Friday for fried dough, sure.
Yeah, why not? So, all right, tune in at 7, guys. Michael and I will be here then for the weekly wrap.